Tonight marks not one, not two, but 3 decades of Monday Night Raw. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and we are here to review that said WWE Monday Night Raw. What a special Raw this is. 30 years of Monday Night Raw. 30 years of weekly episodic television. 30 years of the WWE, and they brought all the big stars, they made and announced big matches, they done everything they could, you know, they promoted this show even the first hour, they gave us commercial free, they pushed the boat out, and guess what? It still fucking sucked. That's right, guys. This show wasn't good. This show was horrible. This show was cheap. This show was lame. This show was fucking boring. They bring all these old legends back. And look, I love the legends. I'll be the first to admit, you stick a legend beside the new guy looks like absolute shit. He sticks out like a sore thumb. The legends are great. But we've got to be honest, man. They're like 50 years old. Some of them are 60. Some of them are 70. These are a bunch of old men now trying to act cool. It just doesn't work. From Ric Flair to Hulk Hogan to D-Generation X, man. How can you take D-Generation X seriously? A bunch of guys now in their 50s acting like degenerates. Could you believe it? In 97? Yes. Could you believe it in the early 2000s? I suppose so. Could you believe it in 2006 when they changed things up? You know, so maybe. But come on, 2023 when they're all frail and fragile and can barely fucking walk and we're supposed to believe that they're D-Generation X? No. Hulk Hogan, they give this guy a microphone that doesn't work, probably afraid of him saying the N-word again, so no faith in him. We've got Ric Flair coming out kissing his fucking daughter's ass, his overrated daughter's ass. Charlotte fucking sucks, right? You can be a 16-time world champion, you can shout it down our faces 16 times that Charlotte Flair's the greatest women wrestler of all time, but she ain't. We don't care. Fuck Charlotte Flair. She sucks. I don't care how many belts she's won. Belts don't mean shit. Belts don't mean... I've got a bunch of belts in my wardrobe that hold my bloody jeans up. They don't mean nothing, right? Belts are absolutely irrelevant sometimes when it comes to pro wrestling. And Charlotte Flair is a prime example of that. 14 belts in a 7-year period, man. Piss off, seriously. Not one of those title reigns means anything. Not one of those title reigns is even memorable. I couldn't even tell you one. Couldn't even tell you one yet. We're supposed to believe she's the greatest star ever. The whole thing sucked tonight. It really did suck, and well, I guess we'll start reviewing it then. We'll start from the beginning. We get introduced to WWE Hall of Famers Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. So the Hulkster comes out, Jimmy Hart comes out. The Hulkster's microphone doesn't work, so I mean, what the fuck? Honestly, man, the guy's mic does it. What a disaster, man. Seriously, what an absolute disaster. He's cutting the same promo. You know, they bring these guys back, and do we get anything new? Do we get anything interesting? No, it's the same fucking Hulk Hogan. Hulkamaniacs running wild, and he'll make a joke about, you know, getting the name of the bloody thing wrong because they done it like, what, 10 years ago at Mania 30? I mean, let it go. That's in the past. Let it go. How long are they going to live off this Hogan botch? You know, just absolutely garbage. Jimmy Hart doesn't even do anything. Like back in the day, Jimmy Hart had his own microphone. Jimmy Hart spoke. Why don't they have him speak now? No, he just always comes out and he stands beside Hulk Hogan. And I know Hulk Hogan's the man. I know he's the draw. I know he's the one that everyone wants to hear from. But come on. Why not have Jimmy Hart say? I just don't get it, man. I mean, why not have Hogan actually interact with somebody? He comes out and just... It basically comes out and says, oh, it's nice to see yous, and puts over the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that's it. Basically came out, welcomed the crowd to the show, and put over the Eagles. Lame. What the fuck? I mean, anyone could have done that. I could have done that. This guy's Hulk Hogan. Surely you could use him for something better than just saying to everybody in the crowd, oh, welcome tonight to Monday Night Raw, and by the way, the Eagles are a good football team. Fuck that shit, man. Fuck that. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Then we got, what else did we get? I can't even remember. Fuck, it's bad when you can't remember. Well, yeah, so the Bloodline came out, and they have this whole court thing. Paul Heyman, there's an ECW chant. Paul Heyman says that, you know, it means a lot to him, but he says that ECW is dead, and he wishes the same for Sami Zayn. This seems to like take Sami off guard. The fans are chanting for Sami. Paul Heyman then presents a bunch of evidence as to why Sami Zayn should be kicked out the bloodline. He's got Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, D, E, F, and G. And it's basically all these things just showing times when Sami Zayn maybe made a mistake, maybe lost a match, maybe it led to doing something that led to, a member of the bloodline getting beat up and all this stuff. So, that was it. Nothing really here. Pretty lame in my opinion that Roman Reigns is supposed to be this, the head of the table, the tribal chief. Yeah, he's willing to kick Sami Zayn out of the stable over some stupid shit, it just doesn't make any sense. Then he tells Solo to basically give Sami Zayn the Samoan spike. Solo goes to do it, and then wow, Jey Uso jumps up and grabs Solo's arm and prevents him from doing it. And then Jey Uso says he had time to line up a defense for Sami Zayn, and it's basically just a bunch of clips showing times where Sami Zayn, helped the bloodline, or he managed to win matches for the bloodline. Then Roman Reigns says that he finds Sami Zayn not guilty for now, and then he orders Sami Zayn not to bother him, not to get in his way until the Royal Rumble. A bit weird. I don't know why Paul Heyman all of a sudden wants Sami Zayn out of the bloodline. Sami Zayn addressed this and says that, he doesn't really feel the need to argue his case. It was kind of like basically saying if he's not wanted in the bloodline, then he's not going to be there. But I just don't understand why Paul Heyman all of a sudden was desperate to get Sami Zayn out of the bloodline when we haven't seen that. We haven't seen anything that would indicate that. I thought it was weird. For months and months and months, we've seen absolutely nothing from Paul Heyman to show that he doesn't like Sami Zayn or that he wants to try and, force Sami Zayn out of the bloodline. So why tonight he was so hell-bent out of nowhere on getting Sami Zayn out of this made absolutely no sense. But it's WWE, guys, and you've got to understand that nothing makes sense. So I guess in the end, everything kind of makes sense due to that reason alone. So yeah, that was it. That was the opening segment. Jey then gives Sami a hug and everyone leaves the ring essentially, apart from the Usos because they've got a tag team title match up against the Judgment Day. So they're having the match. Essentially, Jimmy gets injured. He can't continue the match. They're dragging him to the back. Adam Pearce comes out and says if Jimmy can't continue the match, then the Usos will have to forfeit the match and they will lose the titles. Since when? When was this a fucking rule? This was never a rule. What would happen here, in actual fact, is the match has already started. So what would happen is, Jimmy, if he couldn't continue, if he needed to get treatment, that's fine. He can go to the back, but Jey Uso would continue the match on his own, and it would become a 2-on-1 match, because Jey Uso is in the match, as is Jimmy, but if Jimmy isn't able to be in it, then that's fine, but the match still continues. Why the fuck would Jey Uso have to, just because Jimmy can't continue the match? So what's the difference? Hold on a second. What's the difference between Jimmy getting an injury or, let's say, someone doing a finishing move and taking Jimmy out of the match, out of the equation? Surely if fucking Undertaker came and tombstoned Jimmy Uso on the outside, he wouldn't be able to continue the match because he'd just been tombstoned. Does that mean Jey Uso automatically has to, lose the match? He has to forfeit the match just because his tag team partner had a move done that is currently preventing him from continuing, incapacitating him? When was this rule ever a rule? It was never a rule. Just a lame excuse to try and get Sami Zayn into the match. So Sami Zayn takes over, and then and another thing, Sami Zayn is, doing well, and Rhea Ripley gets involved, and then Jey Uso goes for a super kick on Dom, but Rhea Ripley climbs in the ring and stands in front of Dom, and then she's like, come on, kick me, and then she's pointing at her chin, wanting Jey Uso to plant one on her. And I wish he fucking did, man. I wish he took the super kick, he tuned up the band, sweet chin music, Shawn Michaels style, and kicked her fucking masculine chin into Rose's head. I cannot stand Rhea Ripley. I am sick of Rhea Ripley getting in the ring, acting like a man, looking like a fucking man, looking like a big butch muscular man. It's about time somebody treated her like a fucking man, and Jey Uso should have done it, man. He should have just, boom, super kick, man, boom, bitch, gone. And then Uso and Sami Uso could have won the match, but no, Jey Uso has to look at Rhea as if he's petrified. Oh no, Rhea, please don't touch me, you big woman. I'm a man and you're a woman and women can beat up men with ease. Please don't hit me. What the fuck is this shit, man? Garbage. Absolute garbage. This was horrible. Anyway, Sami Zayn and what's his name? Sami Zayn and Jey Uso win, but oh man, I cannot stand Rhea Ripley. I am sick to death, guys, of Rhea Ripley. I never want to see Rhea Ripley again. Why? Like, why the fuck does she need to get involved in everything, man? I can't stand. I fucking hate her. I do actually despise Rhea Ripley, man. I do. I'm sorry, but I don't like her. I really don't like her. The Usos win, or I guess Sami and Jey Uso win. We go backstage. JBL meets up with the Godfather. He's trying to get into a poltergeist. Okay, so JBL is with Baron Corbin. They're trying to get in backstage to this poker tournament, but apparently Baron Corbin's name isn't on the list, and Godfather, he's like the guy at the door. He's the list taker, I guess. He's security. You need to pass him to get in. And he says that no, your name is, I've never heard the Baron or Boren or Baron or Brian. Your name's not on the list. So JBL's like, oh, come on, can you not let him in? And he's like, no, your name's not on the list. Then JBL says, can't we speak to the owner here to see if we can fix this? And then the door opens. Out comes Farouk, he's the owner. They've got the APA door, so they're going back, it's showing you, they're going back to classic APA, where they just had a random door in the middle. So that's fine, that's good. But at the same time, let's be honest, he is a bum. Baron Corbin does suck. This guy will never be anything. He's not a modern day wrestling god, he's a modern day bum. And that's a fact. But at the end of the day, he's still a current WWE wrestler. He's still a guy that is, pushed in a pretty decent spot. He's a mid-carder / upper mid-carder, yet he's basically being embarrassed here. He's basically being castrated in front of our eyes with the Godfather, who, let's be honest, was in a good era, but he never quite made, he never made it to the top. Godfather was never this huge draw. He was never this main offender. But you've got the Godfather basically ripping the piss out of Corbin, and this just would never happen back in the day. I mean, could you imagine someone from the 80s who wasn't that good, and they appear in the Attitude Era, and they're burying Austin, or they're making fun of Austin? Fuck no. And I get it, Austin was over, and more over than the guys in the 80s, but it's as bad as this current generation is, anytime they have a show like this, they always have the guys that from the past, the legends come in and bury the new guys, and it's how are they really going to get over if they're constantly we know they're not, we know they suck compared to the old guys, but they even prove it every time you see them on telly. It's later on tonight we'll see The Undertaker beat up LA Knight, and it's we know Undertaker's better than LA Knight, but you don't have to you don't have to prove it to us, it's but anyway. Baron Corbin then gives Farouk, and he gives, he gives Godfather money, and they're like, oh, now we see your name, you can come in now. So they invite Baron Corbin in, and then inside, playing poker, is every single jobber, every single vanilla midget, every single bitch that has never seen 5 minutes of screen time in the last year. They've not had 5 minutes of ring time, they've not had 5 minutes of anything. They're all in here playing poker, and you're thinking, well, hold on here. If Baron Corbin's name wasn't on the list, how the hell did 90% of this poker tournament get on the list? Come on. I mean, if Baron Corbin gets in, and then it's if you got a main eventer in there, or you've got a bunch of WWE legends, and that's fair enough, but Baron Corbin can't get in because his name's not on the list. He's not considered a star, he's a bum. But then inside they have Tozawa, and they have all these idiots from the 24/7 title scene. I mean, come on. I mean, what is this? Seriously, what is this? Garbage. Absolute garbage. You've got the OC, Tozawa, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. All these people are playing poker, and all their names are on the list, but, Baron Corbin's wasn't. I mean, are you shitting me? I mean, come on, Corbin's got a bigger name. He's got more name value than all those guys. That just made no sense to me. Then we had LA Knight in the ring, and he's talking about Bray Wyatt. He says Bray Wyatt is a grown man, incel, playing with puppets, making just fun of Bray Wyatt, essentially. Kind of burying him. I like LA Knight, but again, I think he's supposed to be the heel here, and Bray Wyatt's supposed to be the face. And they're trying to do all this supernatural stuff with Bray Wyatt. But at the end of the day, I mean, they've literally got LA Knight out here just burying him. LA Knight is basically saying you're just a grown man playing with dolls. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, surely they should be telling LA Knight to tone down a bit. I mean, come on. You're killing Bray Wyatt's gimmick here. It is. It's a fucking, like, it's a middle-aged man playing with dolls. But LA Knight's calling him out on it, you know? It's like, what the fuck? This would be like Taker. It'd be like Taker, like Taker in the 90s, Ministry of Darkness, and Austin comes out and he says, you're just a grown man dressing like a goth and painting your face and, you know, pretending to be evil, and what? I mean, fuck no. I mean, yeah, I mean, technically that's true, but I mean, come on, you need to at least play into the fact, you need to at least try and make us believe that here, this is a supernatural guy. He does have these powers. I mean, LA Knight, can you not focus more on the fact that he genuinely believes that Bray Wyatt is like this monster, or Bray Wyatt, you know, is this supernatural you know, talent, but instead he just points out that no, you're a grown man playing with dolls, and it's like, how can LA Knight say that and Bray Wyatt not get buried? You know, I don't understand it, man. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, Knight says he's going to give, if any legend in the back wants to come out, they can get a taste of the pitch black match. Undertaker comes out. American Badass. It was weird. He was riding a bike that looked like a casket. It was fucking weird. He gets in the ring and then LA Knight says, LA Knight's like, this is a weird moment for me. I'm going to send The Undertaker to meet The Undertaker. And I thought that was a pretty good line. LA Knight says that he seen Taker's interview with Joe Rogan where Taker talked about the locker room being soft. LA Knight says it's true. They are soft and that Wyatt is the softest of them all. I thought that was pretty good. I like that. And then LA Knight is pacing about, and LA Knight says he's going to give Taker a pass tonight. He's going to let him live to enjoy retirement and his family. And I mean, this is a decent promo here from LA Knight. I liked it from LA Knight, but you know, it is what it is. And then Bray Wyatt comes out, basically throws LA Knight into the Undertaker. Undertaker grabs him around the throat. Undertaker then throws him into LA Knight. LA Knight, Sister Abigail. The fans are chanting, and then Taker walks up to Bray Wyatt and he whispers something in his ear. I don't know what he whispered to him. He probably says, look, I'm the man, I'm the legend, I'm the cult icon, I'm the guy that is basically, you know, been voted the greatest of all time. I'm the guy that's had 30 years of destruction, 3 decades of destruction. I mean, you're the fat guy with braids in your hair that, you know, goes home and cries about mental illnesses. So, I mean, that's probably what Taker said to him. I mean, and that would be true. I mean, that would be true. I don't get it, man. People compare Taker and Bray Wyatt, and that's an insult to Taker. Taker's a fucking legend. Bray Wyatt is not. Bray Wyatt is not a legend. He's nowhere near Taker. He's just not. I mean, see, do you think in 20 years' time, these guys are going to be getting called back? No. Fucking 20 years' time, nobody will remember these guys. So... yeah, it's just crazy. Every time you see like an old legend next to a new guy, it just makes the new guy look so shit. And it's because they are shit, but still, honestly, I think this is probably the worst way to actually do wrestling now. I mean, you're bringing these legends that were back, these legends that were over, these legends that were like, you know, once in a lifetime sort of characters, and you're bringing them back, and you're just making this current generation look like shit. You know, it's like, I mean, you could take a shit, and then you could bring like a big gold bar, you know, a big bar of gold and place it next to the shit. I mean, it's already a pile of shit, but it's going to look even worse next to a gold bar, you know? So it's kind of like this, it's kind of like the WWE, the grand scheme of things. It's like, today's wrestling sucks. It fucking sucks. 99% of the roster sucks, and we know that. But when you bring back the legends and you like incorporate them with today's roster, it just makes today's roster look even worse if that was possible. So, I mean, it is crazy. It really is crazy. We go backstage, we see Diamond Dallas Page win a game of poker. There was just nothing interesting here, though. Yeah, they're playing poker, but there was nothing good, you know, there was nothing interesting, there was nothing funny. I feel like back in the day you had the APA playing poker, smoking cigars, drinking beer, and it looked fucking good, you know, it looked like grown men having a good time. You look at this and it's like a bunch of fucking fannies, man, let's be honest. Let's be real, man. This sucks. Bunch of fucking nerds playing for poker chips that aren't even... oh, and what? Where's the money? Where's the fucking money? Back in the day, you'd Bradshaw, you'd Farouk. They actually had dollar bills, you know, they're smoking the big fucking cigars, those beer cans. It's like they found Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer stash. You normally had a hot chick as well there, maybe Tori Wilson, where fucking jugs floating about. What do you get now? You get absolutely nothing. You get a bunch of fucking 204, 205, 24/7 title bums. I mean, Fuck this shit, man. Seriously. Garbage. Then we get steel cage match. Bayley versus Becky Lynch. This didn't even happen. So Becky Lynch is coming out. She gets attacked by Damage Control. They beat up Becky Lynch. They climb to the top of the steel cage to celebrate. Becky Lynch can't compete. End of segment. Now apparently this happened because the opening segment lasted too long. The segment with the bloodline and Sami Zayn getting put to court or whatever. So apparently that went way too long. So they had to cut this match and just turn it into a beatdown. How is that even possible? On a 3-hour show, and the first hour was commercial free. So normally, if you factor in commercials, maybe an hour of Monday Night Raw is like 35 minutes or 40 minutes. But the fact that the first hour was commercial free, how the fuck did they not have enough time? How did they not have enough time to get this match in? I don't know. Surely you could have cut time from other things. I mean, later in the night, we have Bianca Belair versus Sonya Deville in a nothing match. Like, why the fuck not cut that? That actually lasted long. That went through a commercial break. That match must have lasted at least 10 minutes. So, if you're going to cut something, why not cut that? What you could do is you could have cut the whole 3 hours and you could have saved me watching it. That would have been good. But honestly, I mean, I can't believe that they promote this match, they advertise this match, and then out of all the things that they cut the steel cage match. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Honestly. What are they doing? What are they doing? Then throughout the night, we've seen like all these iconic moments. They would show you moments from the past, and then they had the songs playing as well. Even the theme songs, you've got the old theme songs playing, they sound fucking great. Then you've got the new theme song playing, and it's just gay and boring and so generic and like pop-like, nice and safe and all this. But back in the day, you got the metal songs. You got you've got Papa Roach, To Be Loved. I just wanna be loved. You got all this good stuff, man. Then today it's got like this garbage song. It's like, what the fuck happened? SmackDown. I know they weren't playing SmackDown songs, but you had the beautiful people and the beautiful people. You had these fucking good songs. I mean, what do you have now? You have nothing across the nation. You got nothing, man. The songs today are garbage, man. They're all garbage. Sucks. And then they show you these images. So one minute you've got Austin stunning McMahon, and then the next minute you've got Becky Lynch standing in the crowd with a busted nose. That Becky Lynch moment absolutely sucked. I tell you what, she's lucky. She's lucky that Nia Jax accidentally, busted open her nose, because that's the only reason. That's one of the main reasons why she grew. I mean, let's be real, it's because WWE for so long never had blood. And I don't think we've ever seen a woman bleed that much in WWE, apart from Lita once, where she had an injury and she did split her head or whatever. Apart from that though, we've never really seen women bleed. So the fact that you had not seen blood in years, and then you've got Becky Lynch, covered in blood because of her nose busted open, it made her look tough. It did look like a, wow, look at that. You don't see that every day. It probably was a bit of an iconic scene, but the moment itself wasn't that great. You take away that blood and no one would remember that. You literally take away that blood from Becky Lynch's nose and no one would even speak about that, and the whole man shit wouldn't even happen. So, I mean, it wasn't a great moment. It was a fluke. It was actually a fluke. And it certainly doesn't compare to Austin stunning McMahon. Then we have DX come out. They get interrupted by... So DX come out with Kurt Angle. I guess Kurt Angle's trying to become a member of DX. They get interrupted by Imperium. Jesus Christ, Imperium are boring. Imperium are really, really boring. Imperium then want to fight DX. They accuse DX of, tarnishing their sacred ring. DX then also was going to fight them. Certainly, it's like, I can't fight you, I'm retired. Shawn Michaels says, I can't, I'm too old. X-Pac's like, I would, but I had a really bad case of shin splints, whatever that is. And then Road Dogg Jesse James takes the mic and he's about to step up to Gunther, and he's like, who am I kidding? I'm not doing it either. Then Triple H calls he calls Road Dogg Butterbean because he's fat, and just stay over there, Butterbean. And I mean, that was kind of funny, but at the same time, come on, it's like, it's a bunch of 50-year-old men trying to act cool and trying to act like degenerates. It just doesn't work. And then DX tell Gunther that Kurt Angle will fight him, but Kurt Angle says no, he won't. And then Triple H is like, God damn, we're in a bit of a jam. It's a shame there's nobody who wanted to come out and fight you guys. And then Seth Rollins' music comes out, and then Kurt Angle says that Sean Waltman X-Pac says that, oh, there's only one of Rollins and 3 of them, and X-Pac says it's a shame that there's no tag teams in the back wanting to fight them. And then the Street Profits come out, really lame, corny shit here. And then Triple H is like, oh, it's a shame we don't have a referee, and then Kurt Angle's like, oh wait, and then he pulls his shirt off and he's wearing a referee shirt. This was garbage, man. This wasn't good. This really wasn't good. You get Imperium versus the Street Profits and Seth Rollins. Just a throwaway 6-man tag match. Imperium lose, and of course Imperium lose all the time, and it's either Ludwig Kaiser or Giovanni Vinci, and it's like, why? Remember back like 6 months ago when somebody lost, when Ludwig Kaiser lost, Gunther was beating the shit out of him. Like, why doesn't he do that again? Because these two guys lose all the time. Well, I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, sure, why is he accepting defeat all the time now? It makes no sense. We then have Ric Flair come out. Ric Flair says that Charlotte's the best of all time. She's not. Ric Flair says that that's the best thing to ever happen to him, seeing his daughter grow up and be successful and win 14 titles. He calls her the most successful woman, the best woman of all time, and it's just not true. I mean, in terms of titles, she might be the most successful, but I mean, she's not the most popular, she's not the greatest. No one even likes Charlotte Flair. If we're being honest, no one cares. She's certainly not the most popular of all time. She's not even in the top 5. She's just not. I mean, a lot of people hate Charlotte Flair. I can't think of anybody who hates Trish or Lita. Honestly, I can't. I can't think of one person who doesn't like Trish and Lita. You might have people that, like, you know, they're not overly keen on them, but I can't think of one person that actually dislikes them. I mean, maybe Matt Hardy when Edge slept early, but I mean, like, on it from a wrestling standpoint, from a fan standpoint, I can't think of anybody who, you know, comes out and says, I don't like Lita, I don't like Trish, I can't stand them, I hate them, I want them off my TV screen. Literally half the WWE fan base hate Charlotte Flair, and we're supposed to pretend she's the most she's not. She's fucking not. But she's got the second name Flair, so that helps. She comes out to the ring, she says that, yeah, she's the best woman of all time, whatever, and then Belair comes out, you know, swinging her hair about, and it's like, what the fuck? I mean, same old Belair shit. Hair. Look at me, I've got a ponytail, I'm going to swing it. I wish I could grab her hair and swing her out the fucking window. Then Sonya Deville comes out, wants a shot against Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair tells Bianca, why can't she deal with this? And then we get Bianca versus Sonya Deville. I don't know why they just didn't cut this match, seriously. Why not? Like, seriously, why not? There was 2 breaks. I mean, I'm not kidding you. There was fucking 2 commercial breaks during this match. So, the match gets announced, Sonya Deville gets into the ring, then they go to a break, then they come back, the match is happening, and then like 5 minutes later they go to another break. This match literally lasted over 10 minutes. Why didn't they cut this and have the steel cage match? Seriously. Garbage. Bianca Belair wins. Not surprised. Then Alexa Bliss comes on the screen. She's talking to a mirror, and she basically says nothing interesting. Just says that she's going to spare Belair tonight so she can, you know, take her at the Royal Rumble and win the title. I mean, just garbage. Then we get another vignette from Cody Rhodes saying that he's going to be back, saying that not many people could have done what he done, saying that and being in the ring is like oxygen to him and he really needs to breathe again. I mean, it was okay, but I'm not that excited about it. Then The Miz comes out complaining why we didn't get Miz TV. I'll tell you why we didn't get Miz TV. Because Miz, it fucking sucks. It's the same thing every single time. Welcome to the most watched interviewing TV show on WWE, Miz TV. I mean, who cares? That garbage, man. Boring questions, nothing interesting never happens. Seen it once, I've seen it all before. I mean, it's probably the worst talk show I can... Actually, I'd say the KO show's probably worse, but how many times have we seen Miz TV and the KO show and it's literally garbage? It's always the same fucking shit. I mean, at least back in the day when you had the highlight reel with Chris Jericho, I mean, at least that was fun. That was good. That was entertaining. You had Carlito's Colt Cabana. That was fun. That was entertaining. You had the MVP Lounge. You know, you had some good talk shows back in the day, but The Miz and the KO show, fuck, it was not good. Remember we had that bad one with Alexa Bliss, and it's like, these shows are garbage, man, seriously. These shows are really, really fucking bad. Bad like this show. Anyway, Kevin Owens comes out and stuns The Miz, so they couldn't get Stone Cold on the show, but so the best thing we can get is a Stone Cold stunner for Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens talks about how he's going to win the title at the Royal Rumble. Sure, you're a big KO. No chance. You've got zero chance. More chance of me dating Alexa Bliss than you winning the belt off Roman Reigns. I guarantee it. Then we get the no DQ match for the title, Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. You got your average no DQ match, and I tell you what, there's a spot when Bobby Lashley puts Austin Theory through the table, and you're thinking, oh, Bobby Lashley's going to win. He falls to the floor, he's selling the ribs, and then Brock Lesnar returns. And I tell you, this was so predictable. Anyone could have told you Brock Lesnar was returning tonight. You get a no DQ match. We're heading to the Rumble. Brock Lesnar's going to be at the Rumble. Bobby Lashley's doing absolutely nothing going into the Rumble. You know he's not going to win this belt. We know we can get Lashley Lesnar free. Of course, and it's Raw 30. Of course Lesnar's going to turn up tonight. It was fucking obvious. He's going to be at the Rumble, and tonight was the 30th anniversary of Raw. So, and they need a way to screw Bobby Lashley out of the US title. I mean, a brainless dead man could have seen that Brock Lesnar was going to return tonight. He did. F5'd Bobby Lashley. And then Corey Graves is like, what's Brock Lesnar's beef with Bobby Lashley? What do you mean, what's his fucking beef? Bobby Lashley cost him the title last time we seen him. Bobby Lashley was attacking Brock Lesnar. What the hell do you mean? These guys have been having a rivalry. These guys are in a feud. What is he on? Why is Corey Graves... The last time we seen Bobby was beating the shit out of him. Probably, put him in the hurt lock and made him pass out and essentially left him for dead. Why is Corey Graves saying, oh, why is Brock Lesnar... I mean, what the fuck? I mean, come on. I mean, this would be like Austin finding out Triple H ran him over. Then Austin comes out, starts throwing punches at Triple H, and then JR's like, oh, why is Austin attacking Triple H? Why is he doing this? I mean, what the fuck? Seriously? Honestly? What? Bad. Honestly. What is this show? It's garbage. I'll tell you what it is. It's garbage. Then we get Brock Lesnar, F5 on Austin Theory. Austin Theory lands on top of Bobby Lashley. 1, 2, 3. Austin Theory retains the US title. Brock starts heading up the ramp, and that's it. The end of Raw. I mean, really? Fucking really? Nothing interesting. Just Brock Lesnar coming out, hitting an F5, then leaving. Nothing to see here, guys. This show absolutely sucked. I thought the LA Knight Taker segment was probably... That and the opening segment of the Bloodline was probably the best stuff on the show. And that all happened like in the first 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure that was basically the first two things to happen in terms of segments. I know we had a tag team match in between it, but yeah, the first hour, the commercial-free hour, was definitely the best hour. After that, the show went downhill massively. You know what? There was two things I liked, so for that reason, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I thought the DX Imperium stuff absolutely sucked. Like, DX back in the day were great. DX in 2023 is sad. It's pathetic, man. It really is. And it pains me to say it. Love Shawn Michaels, but, I mean, come on. You are a Christian now. You're a family man. You're an old, fucking bald, beat-down guy. You're not the Heartbreak Kid anymore. You're not a sexy boy. You're not a degenerate. You shouldn't... You being in DX just doesn't work. Road Dogg, you're a fat piece of shit. X-Pac, I don't know, you've got AIDS or something. I don't know what's wrong with X-Pac. He's got some sort of ass disease, so good for him. And Triple H can't even wrestle anymore. He's one bump away from literally dying, so who knows? Who fucking knows? Is it the big CEO VID? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I tell you what, this show absolutely sucked. I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because I liked two things, but Raw 30, you expect a great show. Well, I wouldn't even go that far. You expect a half-decent show and you just didn't get it. You did not get it. So it's getting a 2 out of 10, guys, for me. Let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you later. Till then, though, peace.